this video, we're going to be looking at how to multiply algebraic fractions. Now, if you don't know how to multiply basic fractions, then please go back and see my previous video, because this one is going to be a little bit more advanced. So my first question is x plus 2 over 2 multiplied by 3 over x plus 1. As we mentioned in the last video, to multiply fractions, you can just multiply straight across. And it's the same thing with this one. The only difference here is that we have an expression on the top with one fraction, and we've got an expression on the bottom. So we're going to have to use brackets because it's going to be 3 multiplied by everything in the other fraction. So for the first one, 3 multiplied by the whole of x plus 2. And then on the bottom, same thing, we've got 2 multiplied by the whole of x plus 1. We can multiply out this bracket. We get 3x plus 6. And then on the bottom, multiplying out the bracket, we have 2x plus 2. So if we try another question. Now it's the same thing here. We have got a number multiplied by an expression. So we're going to put it into brackets. So I've got 2 bracket x plus 4 over 3 bracket 2x plus 3. And again, we can multiply out these brackets. Before we do that, we just want to double check that we cannot cancel anything out. So for example, 2 and 3, they are in different times tables, so we cannot simplify that. This bracket on the top is different to this bracket on the bottom, so there's nothing else that we can simplify. So I'm going to multiply out the bracket. That gives me 2x plus 8 over 6x plus 9. Now, if you're not sure how to multiply out brackets, then do check out my other videos. I go through how to multiply these brackets out. For the next question, we can see that we have got a 2 and a 4, which can be simplified. So I'm going to change that. That can cancel. This can change to a 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. If we're looking at the expressions, I've got 2x plus 2 and I've got an x plus 1. If we simplify things, it makes life a lot easier for us. So looking at this top expression, I can factorize it, and it factorizes into 2 bracket x plus 1. I'm still multiplying by 2, and then underneath I've got x plus 1, and I'm just going to put it in brackets because all of that has to stay together. So now I can see that we can cancel these 2 brackets out, and I am just left with 2 times 2, which gives me 4. For this next question, it's going to be a little bit more complicated, and we're going to do a lot more factorizing. So let's have a look. Now I'm going to go through each section and I'm going to factorize everything that I can. Here we've got 2x plus 2. Now to factorize that, we can see that a common factor is 2, so I have 2x plus 1. And then from this 4x plus 8, the common factor is going to be 4. So I'm multiplying that by x plus 2. All of this is going to be over the first expression. We can factorize. We have a quadratic, so I know that I am going to need 2 brackets, and at the start of each bracket it's going to be x. So now I need to think of 2 numbers which multiply to give me 2 but which add to give me 3. So that's going to be 2 and 1, so they multiply to give me 2, but when I add 2 and 1 I get 3, and they are all positive numbers. And that's multiplied by x plus 1. Now, going through, we can see things that we can start cancelling out. On the top, we have got x plus 1, and on the bottom, we also have x plus 1. So I'm going to cancel out one of those with one of those. And on the bottom, we've got an x plus 2. On the top, we also have an x plus 2. So those 2 can also cancel. Now I'm going to be left with a 2 times 4, which gives me 8. And on the bottom, I'm left with this bracket, x plus 1. So my final answer is going to be 8 over x plus 1. Now let's have a go where we have quadratics on both fractions, and we're going to follow the same process. We're going to factorise everything that we possibly can. We're going to cancel things out where we can, and then we will get to our answer. So for this example, we've got the first thing I'm going to do is put brackets around these two terms to keep them together. And then I need to factorise these two quadratics. So that's going to give me x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 1. Now, factorising the first expression, I need two numbers that multiply to give me 1, but add to give me 2, so it's going to be 1 and 1. So I've got x plus 1, x plus 1, and I'm going to multiply that by another quadratic, so I know that I need two more brackets. And I need two numbers which multiply to give me 3, but add to give me 4. So it's going to be 3 and 1. Looking at this fraction, I'm going to go through and cancel out everything that I possibly can. So I can see that I've got an x plus 3 on the top. I've also got an x plus 3 on the bottom, so those can cancel. And then we can see we've got an x plus 1 on the top, we've got an x plus 1 on the bottom, so those two can cancel as well. Now, you will see here that we are left with no terms on the top. But remember, whenever we divide something by itself, it always leaves us with 1. So we're left with 1 over for our fraction. And the final answer is going to be 1 over x plus 1, which is the same as 1 over x plus 1 squared.